Raja Kumari, welcome to CNN News 18.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Thank you. Raja, you're right now the star of the moment. The world is grooving to your voice. You, of course, have sung the theme song of Shah Rukh Khan's starrer Jawan. The film is on a record breaking spree. I don't think celebrations are going to end anytime soon. So, what's your state of mind right now? I mean, what is the level of happiness that you're experiencing at this moment?
I am just waking up every day and realizing that life can be full of blessings and we don't need to suffer for everything. I'm just reminding myself anytime anything small happens, I'm like, right now, in a theater somewhere in the world, people are listening to your voice and loving you for the thing that you have worked hard to become. So I'm just happy to be the songwriter on this song and being celebrated for that. It just it just helps me, and it's really encouraging me as I go into my world tour. I'm going on the Bridge World Tour, and the confidence that India has instilled in me, I'm just ready to take it like all over the world.
So, Raja, correct to say this is the shortest song that you have written in your career, and you got your career's biggest hit.
Yes. Yeah, sometimes it happens like that. Sometimes you work hours on something and you pour everything into it and the people don't respond. And sometimes you get that one phone call that changes your life and you're just the right person at the right time to write it. And here I am. I'm happy. Anytime I walk into a room, if people want to sing this song, I'm ready. I'm ready for it.
So then, for your fans, would you please like to give us Jawan theme song, Raja Kumari Unplugged?
Anytime. Running with King Khan, bullets rain down like it's thunder. Ready or not, she got the Glock, she'll put you under. You know it's game time on the front line till it's over. Deep in the trenches for ya, like a soldier.
How cool! The best song of the album. Correct to say this is, of course, this is not your first collaboration with SRK. You actually have
No.
part of the song Husn Parcham for the film Zero. So that
Yes.
Shah Rukh Khan had your voice in on his mind, and he knew who's best suited for the theme song of Jawan.
I love this. I want to hear this stuff every day. I love it. Yes. My experience with Shah Rukh when I wrote Husn Parcham, I love to tell people that Shah Rukh is my collaborator on it because any of the Hindi lyrics that I say was written by Shah Rukh. I wrote it in English and then he called me back and said like, why don't you change flavor to tevar? And I was like, done. So, he also told me that he had seen my song I Did It, which is a song I released like think in 2018. And I remember when I released it, I wasn't sure about the song. And it's not one of my biggest commercial hits. But the fact that that's the song that Shah Rukh saw and became a fan from, it just reminded me to just always put out my music. Don't be worried if it's not all like huge successes, because that song is the reason that I got to sing the Javan, you know, title track.
Ah, cool. But do you think you added a large fan base, especially after the day the theme song of Jawan dropped online? You became everyone's favorite from north to south to east to west.
I love that. It was a crazy experience. I was like trying to prepare myself. I'm like, Javan is gonna drop and people are gonna come to the page. And I was like wondering what people would say. And I just feel like it's been the best platform. I feel like people are truly seeing me for the artist that I am. Like I'm up there with the song that I wrote. It's, about women power, empowerment, and it has like such an aggressive nature. And I've been getting so many messages with people just congratulating me and saying that the song really made the background music. And for the first time in a long time in my career, I just feel really loved by India and by the world. But specifically, I feel the love and the support. Like I honestly feel so much validation from this whole experience. Like if I ever have any doubts, I just will remind myself of this time period.
Thank you. But Raja, you are an established name in the West. You are our pride there, who's only winning hard, just not just in India, but also in America. We can clearly see now West is looking towards India. I'm sure producers in Hollywood now will be more keen to collaborate with you. Are you getting a lot of emails and queries from producers from Hollywood and in India as well?
I mean, definitely we're on a really exciting time period. I have a lot of work coming out in different films and TV projects in the West. Like I have been lucky enough to be the soundtrack to the diaspora, with Never Have I Ever and Miss Marvel, and, just being able to participate in some of these really huge experiences. So I know that the West knows if they call me, I will deliver something that, fuses both East and West and pays tribute to my culture. I'm looking forward to doing more and more in Indian cinema, especially in the South. I'm Telugu, so I'm like, Allu Arjun, give me a call for Pushpa. I want to be there. But I'm here and I want to get more into, Indian cinema, whether it's just singing or maybe getting in front of the camera and, just having more fun and just, breaking boundaries and doing some new things. I think people, shouldn't be limited by anything. So I've been getting a lot of requests and I'm just really excited to get on this tour. Like a lot of people haven't been able to see me live. And I think on stage is where I truly am who I am. As a classical dancer, we go on stage and everything is a manasa puja. You give everything as an offering to God. And I do bring that same energy to stage. I always say that like my album and my performances, I place them on the altar of Saraswati. So I feel like people can understand who I am if they come to this show and they'll see all the things that I find beautiful in our culture, like whether it's the classical dancing, the costumes, the imagery, the instruments. So I'm really excited about my new show.
I have other questions for the concert, but at this point, would you like to give us a few lines of your favorite Telugu song for your fans? Now you're no longer limited to only Tamil and Telugu. You're now pan-India star.
Yeah, I gotta learn some Tamil songs, but actually I have a Telugu song that I wrote for Venkatesh for his 60th birthday. It was a collaboration between me and Rana, and it goes, attention everybody, Nenosthana, be ready, Nene Maharaja. Kumari, attention everybody, Nenosthana, be ready, Nene Maharaja. Chikati kamina, nagate marena, suredula, redula, velugiana. I keep going, but
Earlier this year, you performed live at a concert in India with John Legend, with whom you both have collaborated for Keep Walking Anthem.
Mm-hmm.
When you jam with musicians from across the world, how do you all arrive at the middle ground, like ensuring that each singer gets an appropriate time or equal part of the song?
I think like when you get into a room, there has to be respect between the musicians. And I think it's not about my part, your part. It's about what's best for the song. Like with my experience with John Legend, we met each other and were writing the song and had a fully recorded version within 4 hours. So that was such a fun experience because I hadn't written with a Grammy songwriter in a lot of time. Like, it had been like years. It'd been like a long time since I had been in a room like that. And with the ease with which we were able to write the song, it was so much fun. And it really just encouraged me to keep pushing. And I would say like, I was assuming that John would sing the chorus because John Legend is John Legend. But we were in the room and he was like, I like the way your voice sounds on the chorus. You should sing it. And I just, the respect in the room was so palpable. It was just like amazing. And I think I bring that into every session that I do. Like when it's a collaboration, it can't be about you. It's got to be about the song, what's best for the song.
Then have you been in a situation where you sort of have to navigate through a musician's ego or like his excessive self-pride or dangerous self-confidence?
I think my entire first couple years of my career were dealing with the egos of men and how to navigate that because hip hop is a very male dominated space. And, in the scene, to be a woman, if you're too aggressive, then you get labeled one way. And if you're too soft, then you get bowled over. So it's been a delicate dance. But I think sometimes, I think other people will experience this, but I've been truly lucky since I entered the industry as a songwriter, as someone, who had proven herself like that. Every project that I've been a part of, people have given me creative control. They've allowed me to do my own thing. So I haven't personally experienced it on that level. I experienced it with like male artists and maybe at shows and maybe with promoters and things like that. But I'm happy to say it's a thing of the past.
Beyond all the racism in American society,
Mm-hmm.
what has been the biggest challenge you think an independent artist faces when starting out her musical journey?
Yeah, I always say that racism was my biggest enemy in the West, and in East it's patriarchy. Like it's the two-headed demon that has come from me. But I think what was really difficult for me in the beginning was people's perception of what it meant to be an Indian. And sometimes in the West it's very exoticized. They only wanted to participate in this like, you know, snake charming, belly dancing space. And I was always someone that was very vocal about my opinions about, women empowerment and actually what it really meant to be Indian. Like these ideas of us being backwards and all these ideas of us not being progressive in some different places. I felt that those were incorrect. And I felt like they wanted to project this idea of us because it fit the model of the colonized mind. And I feel like my music is an answer to that in a lot of ways, that I took my education and my upbringing and whatever, whatever perspectives I gained from my American audacity, but I brought it back home to India, and I try to encourage and, inspire other women to take risks and be bold and do it because it's possible. I am living proof of it. And with my label, Godmother Records, which I've created, in the last 2 years, and I made it to make a safe space for women in India in music, because I don't think that everyone should have to be hyper aggressive. Some people are soft spoken and should remain that way, and they don't need to, all fight for the one seat at the table. If I can do anything in the next 10 years in India, it is to create music infrastructure, music education, and create opportunity for female artists. That is my goal.
Nice. You also released a song called I Did It. Really like these lines. I am one in a billion. You are not the same. You might feel the pressure, but I am diamond made.
Yes.
A very inspiring line. Also,
I'm the Kohinoor.
Cool. Correct to say your songs are reflection of your identity. Even your another song, NRI.
Yes, NRI. NRI was during a time where I felt very that I needed to prove myself in a lot of ways, and I felt like I wasn't accepted in home in LA. Like people weren't understanding me, and at that time in India, they wouldn't really give me my flowers. If I did something, give me my flowers means give me my due respect. Like if I did something that was groundbreaking, that's something another male artist had never done, they would never acknowledge it because I'd become American. Oh, she's American. And when I was in America and I would do something incredible in India, they'd be like, oh, that's just in India. So it was this very strange place where I was also between the two parts of my identity. But through the next few years of living and experiencing and learning, I've integrated it. And, I definitely feel like with the song Made in India, I think that was my last kind of, conversation about this, a little tongue in cheek. I said, no matter where I'm from, Dekhna tu mera ye chehra, they know I'm made in India. So even if you don't want me to be Indian, when they look at my face, no matter what country I'm in, all they see is India. They don't see America, they see India. So get over it.
Did you get the Grammy nomination for I Did It, right?
No, I was actually Grammy nominated as a songwriter. I participated in writing a song for Iggy Azalea, which was called Change Your Life, which changed my life. It got me the Grammy nom.
But what happened post the Grammy nomination? How it brought some positive changes in your career?
You want me to be honest? Okay, so before the Grammy nomination, I had convinced my parents to let me take a year off and focus on music full time. 1 year turned into 2, and by the end of 2 years, I was like, I'm close to getting a publishing deal. Now we're getting to the 3rd year, and my dad is like, you got to go back to school. And on the 3rd year, I got the Grammy nomination. And I said, Dad, I got Grammy nominated, so I'm gonna keep going with my music. So for me, it was specifically the thing I needed to continue in music. My parents, it needed to be on that level because my brother is a neurosurgeon. My other brother went to law school and business school. We have a bunch of overachievers. And until that Grammy nomination came, they weren't gonna let that slide. They were gonna send me right back to school.
In these last few years, song production is something which is appealing a lot to the listeners. You must have witnessed the shift or the obsession the world is having with Afro beats right now. But the trend of speeding up of song is the new obsession that Gen Z is having because of TikTok. Do you see this going to be the new trend which will be gaining momentum in time to come?
Well, I think this trend of Afro pop and Latin music is actually a really good trend for us. It shows that people are willing to listen to world music and they'll be more open to our sounds. And I think Afro pop and Latin music comes from the same roots of tribal music that we have a lot of inspiration from. So I think we can blend right into that, take an Afro pop beat, sing in Punjabi, and take it all the way. You know, I think that we have that kind of ingenuity.
But that's happening. But now the new trend is speeding up the
Yeah.
of this.
Well, I have an opinion about TikTok and Reels and the speeding up. I think people, once you make a piece of art, you give it to the world. What they do with it is their decision, their desire. It almost takes on a new life as soon as you release it. And I think however people can connect to the music is what it's going to be today. Would I like them to listen to 3.5 minutes of a song and have a musical interlude? Of course. But people are consuming music in 20-second, 30-second pieces. Has it changed my songwriting? Definitely. Like when I write songs, I write every section to sound like a chorus because I don't know what section they're going to grab and dance to. Sometimes I make music purely from the spirit. But if my goal is to get my music to the world, then we have to adjust. We have to evolve. It is what it is.
Now, you're a self-made star. Whose music you think had a big impact on your life, on your life while growing up? Perhaps inspired you to become a singer.
You know, this is very easy for me to say because it's very clear. I have memories with both of these artists, and I know that it shaped me. One, I would say the first artist that completely shaped me is AR Rahman. And I call him my musical father because he's the first fusion artist. Like I grew up listening to classical music through my dance. I didn't really listen to a lot of music outside the house. But AR Rahman, the Rangila album, you know, Tal, like all these original albums, Roja, I remember that coming out. These were so fascinating to me because he was mixing like Latin sounds, and you know, he's the first fusion artist, putty rap, bro. Like that's the first time I ever heard something like that. And then being exposed in America, I was exposed to pop music and singers like Whitney Houston, and I loved them. But the first time that I felt affected, that I was like, wow, I need to be an artist, I wish I could be like her, is my musical mother, Lauryn Hill. So Lauryn Hill, the way that she could be such a lyricist and have so much power and change from singing to rapping so effortlessly and be a poet at the end of the day, mixed with my musical father, AR Rahman, I'm their baby. This is what came out.
So then please give a few lines of your favorite AR Rahman song.
I will sing you Humma Humma and the remix that I wrote for AR when I performed with him on tour back in 2019. Okay. I love the way you look at me. One touch, I'll set you free. It's electric on my body, baby. Come get close to me. I love it when you spin it all the way round. You got my head spinning all the way round. She la 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 boom boom she lay. I want the loving all night, all day. Ain't it the sweetest thing? Cause once you have it, you know I can't be replaced. Cause I'm a stunner. I'll give it to you, baby. Humma, 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 humma. Hey, humma, 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 humma. That's my version.
Very nice. Thank you. And finally, Raja, having been in the business for now 10 years as a professional singer, do you think you have found your groove, or are you still discovering yourself as a musician?
I have definitely found my comfort space where I know who I am, but I'm constantly, inspired by artists like Beyonce. And Beyonce has reinvented herself. If you listen to her music in the beginning, to her voice now, it's come out so much. She's almost singing Arabic scales and she's singing opera, and I never want to limit myself. So I feel like my tone, like when I was just singing, I love all those like tribal type songs, and I want to learn. Maybe I could sing a song like that. I think I have the chords for it, but I want to constantly be a student. That's my goal.
Oh, cool. You're very good. Raja Kumari, more power to you.
Thank you.
To many more surprises and chartbusters. Thank you so much for your time, Raja, and best of luck. In the end, may I please request you to give us few lines of my favorite song? I did.
I did it? Okay. I did it all by myself. I did it. I don't need your help. Now who did it? You didn't get it, none of it. Don't disrespect me. You had your minute. Now let me get it. I did it, I did it, I did it all by myself. I did it, I did it, I don't need your help. Now who did it? You didn't get it. None of it, don't disrespect me. You had your minutes. Now let me get it. Da 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 da. Now let me get it. Now let me get it. Da 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 da. Now let me get it, get it, get it. Right? That's Shah Rukh's favorite song too.